Hello, thank you for accompanying me tonight or today. What is the plan for today? Well, we are going to practice our IFR Checkride. So this is the aircraft we'll be using, Cessna 172. Call sign will be different to the registration. Okay, and let me show you now what will be the plan for today. So according to my examiner, which is an Argentinian, this is the plan he wants us to do. Flying from Tucumán to San Juan de Jujuy. So I will say Tucumán and Jujuy. Tucumán is here. And then we have here Jujuy. As you can see, there's different ways to get there. The straight one with the shortest one, maybe the fastest one. It will be through this airway W3, okay, which takes us directly. But the only problem with that, as you can see, this is for 15,000 feet, and of course, our aircraft capability can't make, for a Cessna 172 to climb till 15,000 for two reasons. Operational is one, and also important is the cabin is not pressurized, so unless we are using oxygen, we shouldn't climb such an altitude. So, what to do in this case? Well, maybe flying others, same thing here. And in case we decide to take this route, 10,000. Again, this won't take you, maybe with this connection, 10,000 here. So maybe that would be a possibility. But we have an, card on our slip. So what we can do is go to the local standard departure, instrument departure, and standard arrivals. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, we have here, let me show you all the charts. This is the Tucumán chart. Okay, now we have the departure from Tucumán, instrument departures. We have the arrival chart for Jujuy. We have the approach for Jujuy. We have departure from Jujuy in case we need to, in case of an emergency, go to a different place. And for some reason we cannot land at Jujuy. And then we have the Jujuy chart, airport chart. All right. That being said, let's go with the standard instrument departure. Let's plan here. Okay, departing SANT and arriving Sierra Alpha Sierra Juliet. This will be the Cessna 172. Here we are. Okay. So what else? Okay, why I go here? Because I am checking two things here. Number one, meteorological conditions. So wind is 350 at 4, so we can use runway 2 for departure. Arrival condition at this moment, 130 at 4. So runway 16 will be the one. Interesting arrival. Okay. So in this case, that's what we are going to do. but I will tell you about the plans. So here we have two passengers. It's just me and the examiner. Altitude. We'll get to this in just a few moments. And now let's go with the plan. So what my examiner said is this will be the plan. This is what is okay. I was trying to practice previously, but I will do this from the very beginning. Let's say, for example, if I go just this route as it is right now, well, let's generate the flight plan and see what are the procedures, standard departure procedures and arrival procedure that this will include here for us. Let me go to edit the flight plan again. And as we can see, oh, did not set anything here. All right, so let's do it ourselves. We already know that we will be departing from runway 2, so this one would be good. Okay, you see here, just go straight north. We should use the ILPAR departure, but this ILPAR departure has two options, ILPAR 4 Alpha and ILPAR 4 Bravo. My examiner wants us to use the 4 Bravo, so that's the one that we are going to use. So ILPAR 4 Bravo. ILPAR 4 Bravo for departure. All right, and after that we'll pass ILPAR, and after that our arrival. Here are the arrivals. So we're coming from ILPAR, so this one will work. ILPAR, then here, and as you can see, this here is telling us which will be our minimum cruise altitude, which will be flight level 120, so 12,000. Okay, 12,000, and this will be ILPAR 1 Quebec. ILPAR 1 Quebec, and now we know that here we will use 12,000 feet. All right, but the thing is not ending there, because my examiner wants us to start with a precision approach. So after this standard arrival procedure, and as we saw, we should but this is for runway 34, right? Which is picked. This would not be the one, because according to current condition we should land on runway, or plan to land on runway 16. Okay, so this one will not work, so we have to use this chart for runway 16. And then let's take something that takes us from ILPAR there. So this is the one. So again, we have a key here above the 10,000. So we'll continue here. You see 82, and from CSEV we need to get something connecting us there. Okay, CSEV. So we'll use why I don't have CSEV. Oh, this is ILPAR transition CSEV. So ILPAR 1 uniform. Okay, ILPAR 1 uniform. Now let's get the approach. So this is for runway 34, 34, 34. What's up here? Hello. Okay, 34, so 16. And we have transition C7 here, okay? So then we go here, C7. RMP runway 16. Then we'll go miss to the Jujuy VOR. Let me check for Jujuy Juliet, Uniform Juliet. And then we do a precision approach and non-precision approach. So in order to do that, there's no non-precision approach here. RMP. Then we have VOR for runway 34. This is the only non-precision approach on all those cards, charts. So what we are going to do in order to practice, even if we are planning to land on a different wind, so okay, we'll do the arrival, but for runway 34, we'll do the should be the approach, which is this one. Okay, we'll do the ILS approach, ILS Zulu approach, runway 34. So we'll do again ILPAR 1 Quebec. So let me correct this here. ILPAR 1 Quebec. Then ILS runway 34. But as we are going missed, we'll go to SJ 398, SJ 398, then Jujuy VOR, and then execute the VOR for runway 34. Okay, we here execute the missed approach for a precision approach, and after that we'll try the VOR Zulu for runway 34. VOR Zulu runway 34, and after that examiner says okay, we'll do a circle to land. So once again, getting here, we should circle to land. Okay, but winds are telling us to land on runway this case runway 16. Runway 34, 36. So circle to land not applicable. So the only way that we can land here would be on runway 34. So for that we'll use our non-precision with this one VOR Zulu, and then we'll circle to land here on runway. So circle to land only west of the runway 34, 1634, circle to land only using VOR DME 4.4 approach percentage. So we'll definitely do this one. So once we reach this point, we'll circle to land, and then we align with the runway visible at all times. So that is the plan. So that's why I will use then again Jujuy. Interesting. Okay, 1 second please. Now let's see if this works. Not found. So let's find some solvo. Substitute solvo. Oh, come on. Then solvo again. Then jujuy. Okay, let's see if this works. Good. Okay, just like to have most accurate um, trajectory and also the fuel consumption. So let's generate. And if I get the PDF for this, it says that our block fuel is 161 pounds. So that's what we should load on our aircraft. Payload, pilot 221 pounds, which is me. The examiner 196. 50 for baggages. Things on the after baggage. So again, total fuel 161. We're 224, so we are more than needed. So 4 hours and a half for flying, so we're fine. Now location will be located at General Aviation Parking, which is here. So let me confirm that. And weather will be flying on the IFR conditions and visibility 1.6 nautical miles. I have set this cloud broken cumulus with the lower altitude almost 4,000 feet and above 12,000, which will be our climb altitude. Oh, this is above. Okay, you see. Now we should lower this. All right. Let me check here. According to the departure. So this is the approach. Airfield elevation is 3,000. Feet. That's why. Okay, 3,000 feet. So we have 3,300 almost. 3,258. And the minima here is 3133. So let's add 1,000 feet, so 3233. 32, okay, we're fine. Just 100 feet above ground. Oh, but this is at SANT. So we should put that according to Jujuy. So it will be set 229, 3239. Okay, we're just about, so we're fine. All right. I believe with that setting we'll have IFR non-precision approach conditions for this flight. Local time set at 8:43. So let's start the flight and show you other things. Okay, where I get the charts. I have here the um, limitations and performance for Cessna 172 from the speed limitations, engine operating limitations, weight limitations, takeoff distances, maximum rate of climb, time, fuel, and climb distance, autonomy, performance at cruise, landing distance, weight and balance calculations. Okay, you have to have all that information. Have also a pilot's checklist for normal procedure for Cessna 172, and this is the one that I'm going to use. And I also have the climb descent table for instrument takeoff for approach procedure charts, rate of climb and descent table. Okay, with the gradients perform degrees 2, 2, 4, 2.5, 2, 7, 8, 9, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 7, and so forth. Okay, and for ground speeds not indicated. Okay, and feet per minute. Okay, for example, our climb would be between 60 to close to 90. So if you check here for instrument departure says gradient, minimum climb gradient, so 100 knots of ground speed. So this is the feet per minute that we should use. And for our descent, check here the approach. 4.7 approach. Close to 500 feet per minute. Okay. All right. This is arrival, so let me move this to here. This should be, yeah, departure. I like to move these things here to separate from one another. Okay. So, let's start with the checklist. Let me move these things to the other screen. To start with the, according to this checklist, we'll begin with the exterior inspection, and I have the detail here. So let me move this out. Exterior inspection, we'll start with the cabin and cockpit setup. So control wheel lock is not simulated, so checked. Ignition switch set to off. It's off, keys on dash. Okay, we cannot simulate that. Avionics power switch off. Electrical equipment on. Oh, I'm sorry, off. They all are off. Let me hide the joke to see clearly. Master switch on. Before that, I make sure the parking brake is set. Let me move that as the first. Because that should be, in my opinion, the first thing to check. Parking brake is set. All right, master switch on, fuel quantities, check. Okay, here, oh, we can check the fuel amount, 20 gallons each, so we have 40 gallons. And as we saw, we have more than enough to complete this flight. Okay, and flaps, extend flaps. Flaps extended. Pilot heat on and check. So has this depletes battery very quickly, so we just go out and touch here the pilot tube and make sure that it's getting warm or not, and then we come back and shut it off. Lights, check for navigation. Okay, all lights on. And has taxi lights and landing lights consume a lot of power, so again, same situation. We'll just go out and make sure the taxi light and landing lights are on. So with that being said, I'll just shut them off. And then the others, I'll go for a quick check and do those. I can see the strobo reflection here. Here we have the navigation red and strobe. We have the beacon, rotating beacon, as we can see. And now we just have to check two more things here. Again, we see the strobo here and the blue navigation on, beacon working here, and white navigating light here. We can see now the white navigating light. So let me go back. Usually battery should last, but I don't want to run the risk, to have a battery depleted and then having issues. So let me just shut all off here. Okay, master switch off. Fuel selector valve both. Control wheel lock remove. We don't have that simulated, so nothing we can do about it. And cabin and cockpit setup completed. We go now to the exterior inspection to empennage tail section. While we are on our way, by the way, I need to say that whatever you're watching on your aircraft, make sure that everything looks nice and working. So fuselage, all rivets and everything should look and work. Okay, baggage door, check that locked, so closed and locked. Autopilot started port if equipped. I don't think this is simulated, so then we have the horizontal stabilizer, looks fine. Check for security and damage. Okay, it looks secure, and damage, you move that, try to move that and see it's secure and has no damage. Elevator, check for free of movement, down and up. And we also check the safety wire. Not sure if we can see that here. Okay, vertical stabilizer and rudder, check for free movement. And we check also the antennas, check for security. Okay, also from this side, up and down, everything looks fine. Continue. Antenna check for safety. Now we'll go to the right wing and trailing edge. We check the flaps and aileron check for free movement. Okay, free movement. Right wing, wing tips and lights. Wing tip and lights. We already check lights. Check for damage and security. Okay, we again check all elements here. And we are checking here elements for the flaps also. We get to the sump. We check here drain and check for water sediment and correct grade. Should be a blue fuel. Okay, now fuel quantity. We climb here from this side. We step here and then here, and then we go up to check here for fuel level. All right, now we climb down, and from here we can also check. We open here. So this is the nose and engine, fuel strainer, and we drain a sample. We make a on oil level check, minimum 5 quarters, maximum 8. Check here the exhaust here, that is free. Propeller and spinner. So we make sure that they we check for nicks, cracks, I'm sorry, and security. All right, now air inlets should be open, no bare nets or debris. Now we go to the nose wheel, check. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, we check the main wheel also on the other side for, I believe I didn't. Okay, we check for main wheel, we check for inflation, wear and brake pads lines and with no brake leads, if brake fluid leaks. This nose wheel, the strut extension should be 2 to 3 inches, and we check for tire pressure also. And we go back here. Oh, no, I don't see the static port here. So, unless it's this one. Check for blockade. No, because it says on the nose, so I don't think I see it. Then the left wing, again, fuel quantity, we go up and check. Okay. Visually check and a secure cap. Fuel sump, now we go down and check here the sump. We drain and check a sample, and then main wheel, same things. Check inflation brakes, pivot tube, remove the cover. We should have done that already to check when it was warm. And no blockage. Fuel tank vents, check for blockage. Install warning opening, check for blockade. Suction test. Okay. Left wing trailing edge. Free of movement of the aileron. And then flaps, check for tracks and rollers. Okay, left wing and there, and then we are done with the external inspection. So let's get back in. All right, normal procedure, normal start procedure, before start checklist. Exterior inspection is completed. Now we go to the PAX briefing, which is the passenger briefing. Okay, for passenger briefing, we do the safety acronym on SAFETY. So let's begin with the S. Once we have the passenger, so safety belts, seat belts. Seat belts should be fastened and adjusted. We need to show them how to, and check that they do it to fasten their seat belts, and they know how to release them to lifting the metal tab. Okay, once we check all our passengers do it and know how to do it, we go to the next, air vents. Here are your air vents. You have one here, another one here. There's some others on the roof. So use the one on the rear. Pilot will control it, and on the rear, um, you can use this one, and that one can be used for the passengers. You have rear passengers. You have this one and this other one. Air vents. You can you will show them how to use them so that they can use them for their comfortability. If you feel warm or motion sick, you can open them at your discretion. No need to ask permission to do what. Okay, we continue with the F for fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher is located under my seat, and I will use it in case of if needed. And this is a moment to check if the fire extinguisher is ready to use. We continue with AE for exits and emergency. So in an emergency, we will open the doors at pilot's instruction by unlocking the handle. If a door is jammed, we will exit through the windows. Please do not touch any control, any flight control, which is the yoke and pedals, and also this the flaps, mixture, throttle, and nor any other button during flight or an emergency. Let pilot do that. Okay, now it's time for us to practice how to close and lock the door, and also how to unlock and open the window and close and lock it. All right, and we continue with T for taxi. I'm sorry, tracking traffic and talking. So help me to scan for outside traffic while on ground and while on air. For talking, let's maintain silence during radio communication. So if you hear radio saying something, so you stop speaking if you are speaking. And pilot usually will let you know once we are before takeoff. We should keep a sterile cockpit, which means all passengers should keep it silent until further notice from pilot. Critical operations are, of course, since the engines starts, and then the taxiing, takeoff, and climb. Once we are on cruise, maybe we can talk a little bit, but as this is a short flight, as you will see, mainly will be used in that time to prepare for the next phases of flight. Okay, and now why is for your questions. So do you have any question before we start this flight? This is time to ask a question, so questions are welcome. Then briefing, PAX briefing has been completed if there's no question. Now continue with the safety. Before start our checklist, seat and seat belts just unlock. Parking brake again is set. Make sure there is. Electrical equipment all is off. Fuel selector valve both position. Throttle control idle cut off. This is the time where I like to test this. That is working. And then open 1/4 of an inch. Okay, mixture control idle cut off, pull full out. So I checked it here also for operation, but as for the startup, consider to turn the key to start position, and then while doing that to push this, but I don't have two mouses, so in this case I will leave the mixture right there full in. Okay, now we make sure the propeller area is clear, so we shout the clear. Help me share the shout clear on that side. Thank you. And we make sure that all charts are ready and accessible. I should have done that before, so let me move those two steps here. Not there. Let me move them. Yep, here. It's the best place. All right. Okay, good. Charts ready and accessible. I have them already and accessible. Engine initial hour meter, which I will record. So let me take that here. It's 27.5. 27.5. Okay, recorded in my log. Let's continue. Then master switch on. Beacon lights on. Beacon light on. And then priming procedures, we turn on our auxiliary priming procedures. Fuel pump on. Mixture control advance. Okay, we advance, we should pull it off. But again, I will keep it on, as I mentioned before. By now, we should turn off our fuel pump, but the Argentina requires to keep this pump up, running at all times. Okay, magneto switch to start. Again, we need to keep a good vision of the propeller area in case someone is crossing by there by that time. And we again say clear. Help me, please. All right, and now we start engine. So magnetos switch to start. Okay, we release. Immediately we check engine parameters, starting with the oil pressure, which is in the green area. So after start, throttle control 1000 RPM. So we have 180, 1080. So let's reduce to keep 1000. Okay, like there. Oops. This is something that I don't like. Maybe it's my joystick, you know, I had to struggle to. Okay, 110, 120. It's like fluctuating. Hopefully that is my joystick. So for that, let me do this now, just in case. If not, this is something abnormal, and we should 70. Okay, 110, 20, 10, 20, 10. Okay, that fluctuation. So engine RPM fluctuation without moving the control. Okay, it's steady at 1000, but okay. So there's something that I should notate here. Allow me to notate that here. So as you can see, I have an event and deviation here. So this is a mechanical issues. Engine RPM fluctuate. Up to 30 RPM. Yep. All right. Oil pressure check we're done. Continue with the checklist and meter. So it's negative here. Why? Because we have not turned on our alternator. Now see it goes to 0 and should even go to positive, which means it is loading. Okay, ammeter working, engine parameters check again, fuel flow good, oil pressure good, and oil is warming up. 93 by now is almost on the green, 94, so it's warming up. All right, exhaust gases should be warming up. You can see here it's increasing also. Okay, vacuum pressure check is on the green, we're fine. Avionics bar 1 and 2 on. So avionics on. Okay, avionics on. And communication and navigation equipment set. So let's start with the communication. We'll use the VATSIM to make this as real as possible. So let me do the open my client to communicate with the VATSIM network. By the way, I need to check also if there's any ATC connected here. What's this? Here's my client. This is the call sign that we'll be using, but I need to do something else that I have not yet done, and is to file this flight. Pre-file, VATSIM network. Lima, Lima Victor Charlie, Alpha Sierra Charlie. Lima Victor, Alpha Sierra Charlie. Okay, I flight rules. Get router details, remarks. So here I will add this remark. IFR Checkride examination practice, you missed approach at destination. Okay, it's set. Let me close this and then connect to VATSIM. We should be connected by now. Some way to confirm that is when I open my instructor operator station. We don't have any traffic here. And let me check here. There's no ADC here. And I believe this is us. Yes. Okay, it already synchronized. This is Lima Victor Alpha Sierra Charlie from Tucumán to Jujuy. 1 hour 123 on route. Okay. No ATC. So that's why we'll use the CTAF or the Unicom frequency 122.8 international Unicom frequency. Okay. Now we have the communication. All other communication will appear here, and we'll just set those radio frequencies on our radio. the 1 to 1.5 for emergency set on nav 2, and communication 2, communication radio 2. So okay, and now let's go for the navigation. So as we said before, we'll depart as a standard instrument departure runway 2. This is the one that we're going to use, so we'll use the 2 command VOR, which is 114.1. 114.1 set in the UC 2 command set, and stating here. So it's already set. Now we'll depart on the radial 020, and then at 15 nautical miles we switch to the 023 radial. So we'll start with the 020. So that's why we come here, PFD, DME, bearing 1 and 2. So for number 1, 020 radial, set already, and we have the 2 command VOR. So what about the arrival? This is arrival. Let's see, that's on the approaches. Jujuy is 112.9. So 112.9 is already set on nav 2 active frequency. And as we will start with the ILS Zulu for runway 34. ILS frequency on the localizer is 110.1. So that's what I have, 110.1 on my standby nav radio 1. Okay. All right. Navigation radio set. What's next in our checklist? Let me move this to the other screen. Next is autopilot off. So I will turn on my flight director, autopilot on and off. Transponder set to standby. So as we don't have a transponder code assigned, so we'll use code 1775. Okay, 775. And then transponder should set to standby. Okay, flaps up. Flaps up. And circuit breakers all in. As you can see, all of them are in. Okay. And then the last item is a flight deck item secure heads up for taxi. So items should be secure, like for example this manual and everything. We make sure all objects are secure in the cockpit. All right. Then after start, checklist completed. Now we'll do a taxi checklist. So for taxi, we'll turn on taxi lights. I believe I skipped something here. Navigation lights should be on by now. Yes, after vacuum pressure check up, navigations should be on by now. So now we turn on taxi lights. And then we do taxi checklist, and item number 2 is brakes check. So we should release our parking brake and then test the brakes. Also by then I will check the different things that, you know, because I have very short space here, we'll check. Maybe I can rotate this direction to check for other things. But I'll do, well, I'll go taxiing by the taxiway. So by now, Let's check something. Departure briefing. And before taxing. So let me add this thing here. Departure briefing. I will put it as number 1. Departure briefing. No. Put like this. Yes. Departure briefing. Complete. Taxi lights on. Okay. I've improved my checklist. Brakes check, and after brake I will do the following checks. Compass, which it is. We check that we have is full of fluid, which it is, and that it moves freely. So I will turn left and right, and this should turn opposite position. And same for turn coordinator. What else? Airspeed indicator. And turn coordinator moves into the turn. Okay, let me put this for order here. Okay, airspeed indicator also should read 0 now. It's reading 0. And here is reading 0 also. There's something. Okay, airspeed indicator and vertical speed should show 0. So here we have only here we have the speed indicator, vertical speed indicator 0 also. Altimeter within the 75 knots. So this is time for us to check our current conditions. If we go, we should have get the ARIS information here. If we go to our flight plan, runway analysis, weather. Departure, which is Tucumán. We went 280 at 4, so that's why we'll depart from runway 2. Variable from 240 to 310. Broken skies at 600 feet. Overcast. Okay, but remember that I said that different weather. So let me check my simulator weather conditions here. So we have wind 130 at 10. So according to this, we should be departing from runway 20. So let me change that, because otherwise I'll just show you what we should do if we will take off from runway 20. So we'll use a different departure, not this one, something that takes us to north would be this one. So we'll depart on the 196 radial. We do a 15 arc to the left, and when we cross the radial 139, we start to slowly turn to the left to join the 18 radial, which is the 298 inbound. And after crossing the VOR, Tucumán VOR, we should turn right some slow 30 degrees to intercept the 008 radial from Tucumán to go to Ilpar, maintaining the 008, which is at 68.6 miles. But as we are departing from runway, I will change the winds So we'll use this departure. Okay, on the ILPAR for Bravo. So, which I already explained before. So that being said, let me change here weather, winds. ¿Te fue, Tita? Bien. Maybe this is the one. Something like this, and see what happened. Good. Now we see we have 0, 1, 0 at 10. So we are ready to depart from runway 2. And the altimeter setting is 1021 here, so it's already set, it's saying here. So we're good. Let's continue with our checklist. Okay, altimeter check. Okay, what does that mean? That we should check. We already have the altimeter setting, but what is the field elevation here, where we are? So that's why we have here the airport chart, ground chart. So we see here, we are here in this hangar. The closest elevation reference that we have is here for, this is meters, right? Yeah, in meter, elevation 455 meters. So what is that in feet? Easily. We have 455 here, and then the other end we have 435. So we are close to this one. So we'll use this one, 455.25. So 455.25 meter to feet. It's 4,000. I'm sorry, 1493.60. So 194. And we have 1514. 1493.60 minus 1485. So difference is only 8.6 feet. And difference should be within 75 feet. So we are, our altimeter instrument is working fine. That's what it says. Okay, let me check here. 1021. What is said here? 1021. And should read 1485. So we have 12, 14. 85 should be something like there. 85 is, this is the closest. So now we are synced, synchronized. Okay, and the compass moves freely, full of fluid. I will check that while turning. Turn banks into the turn. And inclinometer, which is this horizontal line which simulates the ball, since opposite to the turn. So, and heading moves freely, cross check with compass. So we'll check this heading moves and we'll cross check with the compass. For example, right now we have 188. And we have 186. So 2 degrees difference for magnetic variation. Magnetic variation, I guess. Okay. So let's check that while we do our taxi checklist. Remember to test the brakes. So let me release brakes. and now it starts to move because we have 1000 RPM. So if I move in this into this direction to the right, you see compass is moving, okay, and also the turn coordinator. Okay, now let's do a little fast to check for the ball. You see it's moving opposite to the turn. And what if I do the opposite, turn left? The ball goes to the other. So compass and turn coordinator both are working. And now I'll just keep us aligned with our taxiway. Is this a taxiway? I don't think so. No, looks like an ale. Okay. Now that we are ready to taxi, let's announce our taxi. So, having the chart on hand, our taxi will be through Alpha taxiway, Delta, Alpha, because according to my simulator, we will use, this is Delta. Okay, here we have Delta, and we have here Papa. Okay, Delta, Papa, Alpha. To command traffic, this is Lima Victor Alpha Sierra Charlie, is type of Cessna. Parked at the hangar, General Aviation Parking will be taxi in runway 2. Using taxiways Delta, Papa, Alpha, then backtracking runway 2. We'll do our tune-up, some 5 minutes on the holding point for runway 2, and then communicate when ready to line up. And this is Cessna Lima Victor Alpha Sierra Charlie for to command traffic. All right. So let's taxi. 115 to break the inertia, and then we'll start to roll. We'll check. This is something that I have open here to check my ground speed, because it's not always easy to see the ground speed. You know, where you are simulating is not, you know, kind of like. This is my indicator, because sometimes when I'm just seeing ground, I'm not sure about what my ground speed. You know, there's no way to have a good feeling of that, so that's why I always have that open when simulating. Okay, this is Papa, and we should be entering Alpha. There you go, you see Alpha. Okay, before entering the runway for the backtrack, we should check for traffic, you know. Okay, let's do that. I'll check my left, and I see no traffic here. I see, surely should check here and here. We are fine. To command traffic, Cessna Lima Victor Alpha Sierra Charlie, entering runway 2, backtracking runway 2. To command traffic. Okay, for that I like to have the landing lights and strobe light, all my lights on, to increase visibility for outsiders. It's not a guarantee that they will see you, but you do the most you can to be seen. Once we exit to the holding point for runway 2, we'll do our tune-up. Okay, and here we'll stop to do our tune-up. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, set my parking brake, and then I pick my checklist. Ground check, parking brake set. Good. Taxi lights off. So I shut off my strobe and landing also. Engine parameters check. Ah, ¿qué pasó? So we have fuel flow good, green, oil pressure green, oil temperature green. We're fine. Mixture control, fuel reach, full reach. Okay, we are almost ground, so I will just pull a little bit to get the maximum power, leaning, simulating the leaning at that altitude. If you want to check, well, other thing that I used to do, I put here close to 2000 RPMs, and then you see we have 2060, 2070, 2090 maximum. Okay, now if I push it, it decreases. So if you want to lean before departure, let's move it like there and see what happened. It's too one, it's too low. To one, not bad. What about here? To 110, I like it. To 120, to 130, so I like it there. Okay, let's say I have lean for this altitude. And talking about altitude, we have 1440, and guess what? 43575, 2 feet should be 1430. So we are almost there, within 5 or something feet difference, so we're totally fine. Go back to checklist and mixture control, throttle control 1818 to check for magnetos. 1A fluctuating. Okay, and then magnetos check. We go to right magneto. It came down like 50, and maximum should be 175. We go to both again. Should be close to 1800. You will see. Now we go to left. still fluctuating, but similar to the other one. So should close to 18. So okay, less than 175 each and less than 50 between both of them. But here, as I did before, remember the this part here. So I will put the same thing here, but for this 18,000 fluctuating, 1800. See, 70 was 1790 is a minimum. 80, I saw 70. 70 to 2110. 70 to 2110. Alright, let's continue with the checklist. Let me move this out. Okay, vacuum pressure check. Vacuum pressure, green. Ammeter, voltmeters, positive, both of them working. Engine indicators, all green. Throttle control, check idle, should be 600 or less. Yep. And then go back to 1000 RPM and make sure the windows are closed and locked. Okay, time to close doors and windows. Now, simulating, sometimes people, to avoid the heat or the hot, they keep the doors open until ready for takeoff. Just simulating that in case it's your situation also. All right, ground check completed. Now before takeoff checklist, takeoff briefing. So here comes my takeoff briefing. This will be a normal takeoff. Why not a short takeoff? Because our runway length. Okay, let me go back to the analysis here on my flight plan. Takeoff data, runway 2. Runway length is 1,483 feet long. What your aircraft needs to take off? Takeoff distance. Okay, what is our current? Okay, pressure, altitude, sea level. We are the most restricting is 2,000 feet, right? So we need like 1,000 feet. If we were at 0 degrees Celsius, our current temperature is, let me go back to my weather conditions here. We have 15 degrees. Okay. So more restricted is 20, which means that we will need to clear 50-foot obstacles at 2,000 feet and 2,035 feet. And this runway has 11,000, so wait enough runway to take off. Okay, next on checklist. Flight controls free and correct. So now we check, and you should be checking each wing and ailerons for correct movement. So we do this and we check the tail, we check the ailerons, we check the pedals also, and we should be watching all those aircraft. See, for example, like this, and if you look the tail, you should be able to see that it's moving according to the movement that you're doing and all that. Okay, good. Let me hide this again. Flaps set for takeoff. In this case, I will use one set of flaps, which is 10 degrees. Fuel selector valve, make sure it's both, just in case. Elevator trim control, we make sure is ready, set for takeoff, and we check the electrical trim, which is working. Mixture control check, we already leaned it, and it's the position we left it. magnetos both in case you forgot to put to both after the test. Altimeters set. We already done that. Both of them are synchronized. Doors and windows close and lock. Again, seat belts adjust just in case your exit moved or whatever. Maybe it's too tight or whatever. So autopilot again, make sure it's off, on and off. Cabin power is not simulated. Transponder set to transponder set is already set. Standby. Yep. Landing and strobe light switch on. So landing and strobe on. Pilot heat as required. In this case, I will turn it on. Clearance. Let's check again if we have ATC. This is weather, I guess. Yes, this is weather and no ATC. Check also here. Only SIF center, which is this one, right? Yes. So not in control, no one controlling our area at this moment. Why is that? What is all that? The taxi we just did? Whoops. No. It looks like, well, I don't know why it's doing that. But okay. Clearance received, flight director check. Flight director is on. And nav source selected. We'll use the heading. And then, what else? Roll control, so no roll. Yep, for takeoff. Flight director, nav source. Nav source is already set for radio 1. Let me hit go back here. What is the alert? Inside airspace, yeah, we know that. We are using CD1, CDI, VOR1, which is to command. Altitude selector, we will climb 12,000, remember? What's that? 12,000 set. Transition altitude check. As we can see from the charts, transition altitude for to command is 6,500. So 6,500. Okay. Takeoff briefing. Something should mention for takeoff briefing. Oh, I didn't finish. I don't know why. We just checked the runway length. Okay. In case of failure during takeoff roll, for any failure before rotation, we will abort the takeoff by bringing the throttle to idle and then apply maximum braking and stop on the runway. If engine loses power after rotation, but we still have sufficient runway remaining, so we will lower the nose. And land immediately on the remaining of the runway. I'm sorry, we just land on the remaining of the runway. If failure is below 800 feet above ground, which will be 14 plus 8 is 22. So 22 40, let's say. Um, we will pitch down to maintain 65 knots to glide, and we will land straight ahead. And by the way, just let me show you. Sorry, I've been having my mic muted for a long time. My apologies. Oh my. So maybe you were able just to follow or hint what is it that I was doing, but okay, I just noticed. I'm sorry. Okay, it's time for use the acceleration, sim acceleration rate times 4. As you can see, 4 times ground speed. Eleven thousand, 1,000 to go. Once we are close, I will go back to 1x simulation rate. Okay, there we go. To make a smooth leveling up. Needle is moving to the left, so I just turn 5 degrees to the left. Okay, leveling it off after 12,000 feet. Speed is increasing, and as this is our top altitude, we lean fuel for fuel. Let me go to my checklist. Cruise checklist. Cruise power set to 21 to 27 RPM. 21, 27. Okay, we're fine. Elevator trim control adjust automatically done. Mixture control adjust. 26, 26, 1. Let's wait for it to stabilize, and then we'll lean the mixture. 2630. Okay. 2640. 2650. Let's give a little bit more. 60. Good. Came back to 50, so I'll leave it there. Okay, let me go back to sim rate 4. Coming back to our okay, make sure altimeter check and route briefing complete. Altimeter is standard. Now let's do our en route briefing. Okay, traffic, we would watch out for, okay, nothing to watch out because of the weather condition, but if we could, we would watch out for commercial traffic entering or leaving all nearby airports. Just a few clouds above. some other way that we can do that. Okay, let me check something here. I remember that, okay, we have 37, and remember, no, 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 no. So by 30, we should be about 900. We already 9,000. We already see that. So that, and at 40 degrees, we should turn left until intercepting the 008. And we will start to line up on the radial 013. Okay, we have, what's this? Okay, we just crossed because I have delayed it and I have 4 times simulating. So by now I should go back to 1 here and then turn left 90 degrees. Then intercept the 008. set. Okay, but here says that we should start to turn when we cross the radial 013. So let's set that. Okay, we have the 13 set. For the ARCA technique, well, if you set the distance, let's say we should have started turning with the half a nautical miles, so for 39.5, and then you keep that degree heading, and according to whatever distance is increasing or decreasing, you adjust your heading. Okay. This was not the best moment to start the en route briefing. That and the increasing of the simulation rate distracted me from turning the arc of 40 nautical miles degree arc, 40 miles arc. When we start turning right, when the needle crosses the middle here, because we would have crossed the 013 degree radial. Okay, let's say it's in the middle, so now we set the 008, and then we start turning. Navigation set. Heading. Sync. Okay, we'll continue that. Okay. Now we can do the en route briefing. En route. Okay, watch out for commercial traffic entering, leaving all nearby airports. Altitude, maximum flight level according to flight chart. We already discussed that. Maximum is 12,000 feet. And then en route emergency in case of an engine failure over the urban area. There's none on this path. What do we have? Okay, here. Right to the north. From Tucumán, which is here. see the other airport is here, and there's no population. Is just arriving Jujuy, but not directly. So we can go all the way straight, and there's no populated areas. Yep. Okay, so en route the briefing. Okay, en route the emergency in case of an engine failure over the urban area. There's no one, so we'll glide to our green spaces, and we can continue just. Okay, there's something else that we can do here. Show you. Map. Profile. Profile not available. Terrain. Next route. Maybe it's too close. There we go. $75. 10 nautical miles. Okay. En route briefing complete and cruise checklist completed. Now next checklist, it will be before descent. And again, ILPAR is at 68.6 and we are 53.9, and we already have readings for the Jujuy VOR. So just to go ahead in time, I will do the descent briefing right now, because I will then accelerate the simulation rate. So approach a briefing. Okay, we'll be approaching Jujuy Airport, and we will get ARIS before descending. One way to do this is live here. Let me get my command to do that. I believe I lost that information. Okay, there's another way I can get that. Landing. Oh, but again, I will have to use the current altimeter, because again I have the weather configured on an IFR non-precision approach, so actual current conditions won't work. Let's say we are getting 80s, and the current one that I have is wind 1010 at 10 knots, 2 star miles for visibility. A few clouds 26,000. which won't be a factor for us. Few clouds at 30,000, again not a factor for us. Temperature 12, dew point -1, ultimate QNH 1022. Okay, that's it. So 1022. All right, what else? Information 8 is we have it. Then entry. Let's remember our entry. So we won't need this anymore. So let me close this one, and Tucumán Airport not needed anymore. So our entry will be through the ILPAR 1 Quebec arrival. Again, once we cross ILPAR, we'll go to Sierra Juliet 022, maintaining 12,000. After crossing Sierra Juliet 022, we'll descend to 10,000, headed for Sierra Juliet 019. After crossing that, we can descend to 7300 to Sulbu, and from Sulbu we switch to the approach. From Sulbu we'll go to Lubla, descending to 5600. Okay, from that we just proceed with the ILS approach, having tuned having set this information, okay, on our navigation equipment, and then descend with a 5.2% gradient or 3 degrees slope down on the 338 course. As we'll do an missed approach, so we'll execute the missed approach. So let us read the ILS Zulu runway 34. This is the control frequencies. We approach frequency, tower frequencies, primary and secondary, emergency 1 to 1.5, localizer 110.1, final approach score 338, ultimate altitude minimum for fixed approach point is 5600 as set here for Lubla. ILS DME altitude is 229 feet above ground, which is 3,133 altitude from sea level. Airport elevation is 3,020, and threshold for the runway is 2904, so there's should be a slope up. Missed approach, climb on track 339, so we will be approaching on the 338, but then climb on the 339 to Sierra Juliet 210, which is this one. We should cross that above 5,300. Then, after crossing Sierra Juliet 210, we'll turn left and track the 312 degrees. After Sierra Juliet 398, which should be above 6,100, and we have here an obstacle for 4,200 almost. So after that we'll turn right with a maximum 200 knots that we won't reach normally in this aircraft. Directed to the Jujuy VOR, okay, then reaching minimum altitude 92,100 feet, okay, and then hold, climb to transition level. We'll maintain that altitude because we'll execute a holding pattern, and then I will discuss the next. We already crossed ILPAR, I can see. Yeah, so cross ILPAR. Okay, now I need to go directly to Sierra Juliet 019. Argentina, activate, and we go. Now should be going direct to Sierra Juliet 019. All right. And we have 39 miles from that. Okay, let's continue explaining. Oh, but I need to set it here. GPS. ¿Cómo te fue, hija? Bien. Okay, and after that, after crossing Sierra Juliet 022, we'll descend to 10,000. I already explained this. So after crossing and holding pattern here, we'll go to the next non-precision approach, which is the VOR ILS, VOR Zulu for runway 34. So we'll exit on the 174 radial. Once cross the this arc at 15 nautical miles, we'll make like an arc, let's say, and then well, we can exceed here this arc, but I'll just practice the arc and then intercept the the radial inbound radial 162, which is the 342 degree course. And while we cross the VOR, we'll descend because we are going through Sulbu. I'm sorry, Sulbu is this? No. This fix is not Sulbu, because Sulbu is this one. But here is saying that at 15 we'll maintain 56,000. So again, we'll descend on the 174, no obstacle as you can see here. But this one at 2030, 2300, but we'll be descending only to 56. All right. After crossing this arc, we should continue on the 170. No, what is that 170 saying or signaling? Because here it says 174. We should continue on the 174. I'm not sure now what this pointing is like. The clear path. I'm not quite sure. We'll continue on the 174. Let me check how things are going here. 32.3. Okay, good. And then oh, Fatima. Okay. Just a second. All right. Let's continue. Once we are inbound at 342, now we pay attention to the vertical profile. We'll maintain 5600 until reaching final approach fixed. which is this one at 8.9 nautical miles. Then we start descending on a 3 degree slope down until the MDA, which is at 1.5 miles. By then we should be close to 3200 plus 40, and then we'll maintain that altitude until the minimum approach point, which is at 1.3 nautical miles from the VOR. By then we'll execute our second missed approach, but this, okay, here is saying climb at 4.4, but instruction from the examiner is in this second missed approach we'll just go circle to land. So which means that by then we should be able to see the runway, otherwise we won't do that. So again, reaching here, we'll just make a left turn. Why left and not right? Because here's a circle to land only west of runway 1634, circle to land only using VORDB 4.4 approach. So no obstacle, but this one at 2990, but will be above at 3240. Okay, then we make a left, and then once we have the runway threshold at 45 degrees from our left wing, we'll make a left to go visually inbound and align to runway runway 34, and then finally land. And then after landing we'll go to this taxiway Alpha and then continue here on Charlie, then Bravo till let me check, this is where's the, well, here at Sierra Echo India, say we'll park close there, because the others are the terminal for commercial aircraft. So that's basically the plan. Okay, 24 nautical miles. So let's increase our. Before that, I would need to add something here and have it ready. Which is what? Sierra Juliet 019. Oh, there's something wrong here. We should go in directly to Sierra Juliet 022. Did I set 019? Why? And we should, okay, be crossing, okay, another mistake. Close to cross Sierra Juliet 022. Because it's only at 20.5, so we should be close. You see, this is Sierra Juliet 022. We're about to cross it, and crossing that we should be descending down to 10,000. My mistake. There's another thing here. Okay, now we can descend to 10,000. 10,000 set here, and then let me hit here flight change and see what happened. I see it is slowly descending. Or it's not descending at all. Yeah, it's descending. But then it's ending. So let's do manual way. 1, 2, 3. Watching our speed not to reach the yellow range, which is caution, and also here below 27 that we have. So let me reduce here RPMs. By 1000, so let's say 2600. There we go. Keep it there, and now it's increasing as we descend, but it's fluctuating. That's fine. Now we lose sky reference. Interesting stars now. Okay, before descent, approach briefing complete. Power has required. Make sure control and reach with the set. Barometer set. Okay, we missed this. Did show you what I'm doing here. Did not completed before descent. Checklist prior to initial descent. Okay, we have some reference. Let's continue with the checklist. Barometer set. So again, what is our transition altitude or transition level? Is 9,000 feet. How do I know that? Here. We'll be descending to 10,000. So, okay, 1,000 to go. And current altimeter. Okay, once we close that. Radio 8 select. We are following the GPS. Fuel selector bulb check is both. Circuit breakers all in. Landing lights on. Below 10,000, and we are once we reach 10,000, I will turn it on. Add is obtained, and transition level check. We have done that before this checklist completed. Next on our checklist is the approach checklist. So let's do that. The approach briefing information. Okay, on the airport, the ARIS, we already have that entry. We already set the entry point. So it's not such a high density area, and if we check for traffic, we don't have traffic close. Runway and wind, we will have that information when we set this back to our local conditions. But for the moment, current information, real information, it's wind 080 at 3, so we'll be able to land at runway 34 if we want. Okay, and then temperature 13, altimeter 2994. Hectopascal is 1014. Okay, runway management is not a shorter runway, but how do we know that? Runway is 200 and almost 3,000 meters, and we can get also this from the runway analysis. Landing Jujuy, runway 16 or 34, 9,000 feet long. ILS for runway 34. So we are light traffic. We will look to touch and go and vacate there quickly via the designated runway. I mean taxiway. Which is taxiway Alpha, which is the only, in fact. Okay, avoid delay any traffic behind us if applicable. Approach procedure, we already covered that. Configuration speed, we will fly the approach at 65 knots with 30 degrees of flaps adjust for wing. Final approach is 65 knots with 30 degrees of flap. If there is a wake turbulence from a preceding aircraft, we will land above its flight path and beyond its touchdown point. Go around. In the event of a tower instruction, we'll go around. Or if we are unstable due to crosswind, if there is a traffic on the runway, or if I feel uncomfortable, we will apply maximum power, pitch to up to climb, carb hit cold, and retract the flaps gradually, and re-enter the traffic pattern. Which in this case, you will just follow all the prescribed in the star charts. Okay, so approach, we will set our, okay, let me check here. Okay, we are crossing SJ, so we'll maintain now, we'll just maintain the heading, and then we'll direct now to Sulbu, and we can descend 73. Okay, let me set that. I will turn on the light. 73, and again vertical 2 3, and then we'll go direct to Sulbu. Yes, direct here. Navigate to Sulbu. 18 miles. Okay, we have 2570, 2590. As we are descending, let me reduce here. RPM 225. There we go. And then we'll continue leaning every 3000. After Jujuy, we'll continue. Now we'll have ended for this star chart, and we cross to the approacher chart. And after that, I will set procedure for ILS Zulu runway 34. But this is not our airport. Okay. Oh, whoa, oh. Oh, come on. Okay, we continue to Sulbu. Good. Arrival. Procedure. Oh, it's approach, the one I need to select. ILS Zulu. Enter via Sulbu. Load. And then I'll just hit activate. Or here the approach. Then once I hit enter here, it will activate. Okay. think I can increase sim speed or sim rate to 4. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There we go. 10. 9, 1000 to go. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Okay, let's lean 23, 24, 20. 24, 20 did not vary anything. 23, 60, good. Increase or decrease? 23, 70, 80. 23, 6, no. Okay, good. Okay, we have 9. Okay, now it's time to... Okay, yes, because it's let's maintain the heading. And then set here activate. And then I go here and set again navigation. Now we cross Sulbu and go into Lubla, so we need to descend now. For Lubla, we should descend 56. 56. Vertical speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you see, we have vertical here. So let me reduce. (1,000 feet per minute). This triangle here should point our vertical path. No, it says it is pointing the descent profile we should use. Okay, 2.3 from Lubla, and after that he will continue with the ILS approach. So no ground reference, no sky reference, no any reference. (1.3 from Lubla). And once we cross the Lula, we'll maintain 5600. Oh, now that we cross 9000, I should have set the altimeter. Oh my. Altimeter setting is 1022. It's not a big deal, but still a mistake. Okay, we cross the Lula. Now we are going to the fix, and we should maintain 5600. Let's reduce to maintain 90 or below. Okay, at this point we are going here from Lula to the fixed approach point, and then we'll go through the glide slope and execute the missed approach at 1.2. So again, ILS is 110.1, so 110.1 here. Let's lean, we have 22, fine. Now we should set the approach. Mode. Okay, we have the missed approach there, and the holding set also, which is fine. Okay, we have a glide slope indication. So let's reduce speed to maintain the speed that where we can set our flaps. The first notch is not of flaps, so it should be 85 or something. When we have here in this white range here, so let's maintain 80. It says glide slope, so it should automatically start to descend with it. Okay, say here in 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's descending. So let's set the first set of flaps. Watch not to go farther than that. Okay, let's set the altitude, missed approach altitude, which is 3133. So 31. Missed approach altitude set. No reference. Okay, the second lots of flaps. One 10. Okay, we're fine. No reference yet. Yes, I believe I see kind of a little reference. Yeah, ground reference. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Good, 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 good. .22 set. Okay, and the last set of flaps. Approach speed should be 60. Sit upright, seat belt, fuel selector. Okay, I already did the approach. Brakes pressure check, and then the approach checklist completed. The final approach flap set. Landing line check. It's on. Let me turn on taxiing also. And autopilot off. Okay, 1.9 is our decision, right? 1.2. .3. 2.2. We're at 1 mile. And I see the runway already, the lights, which by now we should be able to land. So by now, let me just continue manually here. So heading and vertical speed with 350. In order to do this, one 1.5, 1.3, and then 1.2. So we gain speed, clear flaps configuration. Oops. Thumbs up, and then vertical speed. Increase. And will they go out on the 339? We'll climb 92, right? 92. And then we'll set here the 339. Okay, now let's for the missed approach, we'll execute the climb checklist, the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, flaps, up, landing lights as required, they are on, transponder altitude. Transponder set altitude. After takeoff checklist completed, en route climb airspeed 7285, throttle control full push in, mixture control full reach. Okay, and lean every 3000. Okay, for this missed approach, again we are going to Sierra Juliet 210, which now I can, if we are still following this, and we just set the GPS and we'll go directly to it, following the missed approach procedure. Okay, then SJ398. SJ398, we should make sure that we cross the 210 at above 5300, in which we are just crossed the 5300 already, so we're fine because we are 4.4 miles still for Sierra Juliet 10. So we have a good gradient. So nose down to maintain 70 to 80 something. And again, we can just do this with the heading. For a semi-automatic flight. Now wind is coming from our right, so you see we are almost intercepting the what's up. Once we cross Sierra Juliet 210, it should mark the next, which is Sierra Juliet 398, and then we'll just turn left to track the 314. There we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5.4. And we should cross it above 61, and we are way high above that. And that is the only other obstacle, because no other obstacle here 4,000, and then we can just fifty-three 30. 70, 60, 3.2, 2570, 2580, 2610, 2610. Good. Two point zero. Then it should switch to go directly to Jujuy VOR on the 148. Okay. Point 7, point 6, 12. Right turn to 148 at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, next. We should cross Jujuy VOR and then we'll do a holding here. So for my convenience, I will track the 155 as depicted here and then do that holding. So let me set that here. Mm-hmm. 9.9, and this is what's going on so far. I believe next time I will just continue this heading, tracking the opposite heading here. Alright, now navigation. Okay, let's increase the acceleration rate again. Simulation rate, I mean. $9,200 to go. 100 to go. Hurry 200. Okay, now that we are getting close, let me just go back to 1. And we are crossing the VOR, as you can see. Now we'll make a right turn to the opposite heading, which will be the 335. Okay, we start our timer, but the chart says that we should go 4 nautical miles. So let's say when we have a distance here of 5, tracking the 335. Good. Three, 4.5, maybe. Nine, 4.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So the other right turn. Okay, now we will exit, and now we proceed with the non-precision approach, which is the VOR Zulu runway 34. So we'll exit on the 174. .1, and we will descend 5600. 56 set. Okay, we are crossing the VOR. So let's hit the 174. 174. 174, and we descend. Okay. I don't know why it did that. Okay. Okay. This is what been going on. Now we'll continue till 15, then make an arc to intercept the 342. So let's hit here the 4. Okay, 12.6. We go back to 1 here. Okay, 15. 9, okay. Make a left turn. and we'll intercept the 342 inbound, which is the 162. .342 set. We'll maintain 5600 until 8.9. Oh, wind is, let me reduce speed a little bit. And then hit again here the 4 times sim rate. Just make sure that it's 342, right? Yeah, the 342 for VOR. Then at 8.9, we will descend to 3240. 32. Okay, we have 9 ready. Okay, 8.9, now we can descend. And we should reach the 3240 by 1.5. And remember, after we reach the minimum approach point, we'll circle to land to the left, and then while maintaining visual from runway, and then we'll land, and that would be all, and that'll do it. So let's check. Let me move this for my checklist. Approach, seats upright in position, seat belts, adjust, fuel selector valve, both. Mixture control reach, we already checked that. Cab and brakes, check pressure. Pressure checked. Okay, finals, we'll check for flaps. So flaps will be British time every 15. So there's the three sets of flaps, so 32 plus 15 is 47. We go 47, so let's set the first notch of flaps. Altimeter 1014 now. 14 set. Second notch of flap. Okay, at 1.5 we should have 'last notch of flap at about 1.5 we should have reached 32 already. 1.2 by now we should have the runway. I have here the reference, so they're making the left turn for the circle to land. Okay, as I cannot see, now it's time to change this to real world. Apply changes. Otherwise, I won't be able to see that runway because weather conditions set are. Mm, okay, yeah, there's the runway. Okay, what's going on? Okay, that is because the altimeter. Let me check now the altimeter. 1013. So okay, is set. Oh, come on. There's the runway. Once runway reach this point, I'll turn to line up and land. Okay, there we go. There is. Well, wind from the left. Okay, final flaps down. Landing light. It's on. Autopilot disabled. Final checklist completed. Okay, we'll try to maintain that altitude until we see PAPI changing. Okay, there we go. The first yellow light. Let's slowly start our descent. Okay, two lights. There we go. Good. What's up? Oh, come on. And as you can notice, I forgot communications. So we still need to practice, continue practicing. Just throw one light and then the lights off. Runway vacated, flaps up. Elevator chain control. Set for takeoff. Transponder standby. Strobe lights off, landing lights off, taxi lights on. Pilot heat off. Ground control frequency contact. Okay, engine shut down, parking brake, set. Throttle control idle, taxi navigation off, electrical equipment off. So we should off the avionics, mixture control idle cut off. Magnetos off, beacon off. Magnetos when propellers stop off. Beacon off. Master switch off. Engine final hour meter 20 what? Oh, come on. Thirty 0.4. So we had here almost 3 hours, or maybe 3 hours. Fuel selector valve left to right. Control lock install and pivot cover install. Okay, now we have to do the post-flight debriefing. So which is events and navigation findings log, communications. No communications held after takeoff. Okay, we should have announced that we vacated the runway and so forth. No any communications. Decision making. I don't have any point to that, but you can comment in case you need. You're free to comment on what decision making was not done correctly. Deviation for altitude. Okay, let me show you. I'm sorry. Deviation from altitude heading. Few times when crossed a fixed maybe some 2 or 3. I will have to check the video again. You heading or direct was set after crossing the previous fix. Instrument malfunctions. I believe everything was working fine. Items and checklist did not complete the descent checklist. To initial descent maneuvers. Okay. Did not turn right after Hui VOR. When to continue with non-precision approach. And then did not fly phone did not flight the base leg and the correct heading mostly. Otherwise, I believe that would be the most. If you have any comments or something that I can improve, so please let me know. Thank you for flying with me. See you next time.